Emergency petition for special action, filed by the ACLU of Arizona and Campaign Legal Center to the Arizona Supreme Court to extend the state's current ballot curing deadline this Sunday.
This problem implicates both due process concerns as well as equal protection concerns, and we think if the court doesn't act, that the constitutional rights of many Arizonan voters are going to be violated.
State lawmakers changed the deadline for ballot curing this year to 5 days after the polls closed. At the time, it was to ensure Arizona met all election deadlines needed for electors in the general election.
The cure process is that sometimes those signatures don't match, or the person reviewing them doesn't think they match. And so state law says that election officials are supposed to take reasonable steps to contact that voter to find out if, in fact, they cast that ballot.
Because of high voter turnouts, a 2-page ballot, and some technical issues, there are still hundreds of thousands of ballots that need to be tabulated. It's unclear how many of those would need to be cured, but the legal director at the ACLU of Arizona argues Sunday's deadline could mean voters could lose their voice this election.
We don't know who these voters are who are going to be affected. They may have voted Republican, they may have voted Democratic, they may have voted third party. We just don't know. Our point is that every single one of those voters should have their votes counted.
State Senate President Warren Peterson, a Republican, called the motion partisan and says he has authorized the state Senate to intervene and defend existing law so the outcome of the election can be determined as soon as possible, and adds he plans to bring back legislation that was vetoed by Governor Katie Hobbs last year that would give election results the night of the election. And the state Supreme Court has not responded to our request for comment on if they plan to take up this emergency petition.
And do we know how long the ACLU is asking for this extension to last? How long could it take to complete this process?
So they're asking for the extension to last to give voters somewhere between 2 to 4 days to cure their ballots, depending on kind of the method county officials use to let those voters know. But again, just depending on kind of when all these early ballots are tabulated, how long that process goes, I think that, could extend it, 2 to 4 days, or potentially even more, depending on how quickly they get through all those early ballots.
Yeah, still some races that haven't been called, so all eyes on Arizona. We'll, of course, be following what happens with this case. Thank you.